All right, there have been lots of complaints over the years that when condo owners bring their complaints to the DBPR and expect some help, the only thing they get in return, and I've seen so many of them, is a letter that says, hey, the DBPR has no jurisdiction. We can't help you with this subject matter. Sorry. And I actually watched a legislative hearing a few months ago in Tallahassee, and I'll tell you that there was a lot of people testifying to that effect in front of this committee, and the legislators who were hosting the committee were absolutely shocked. They really, truly had no idea that this was actually going on, and they want to do something about it. In response, the legislature passed a law this year giving the DBPR jurisdiction over many, many more subject matters. And this bill became effective July 1st. And Karen, we got to do this together.
Yep.
Because there are so many new subject matters.
Unless you think the DBPR can't handle these new things,
Well,
they've been overfunded forever.
Well, now they get to keep their money.
That's right.
Yes, they're getting to keep that money.
And they can hire more people.
Their budget was just basically doubled. The amount of money they received is going to be doubled.
Okay.
So here we go. If you're playing along at home, the statute that is in effect here is 718.501, and it has to do with authority, responsibility, and duties of division of Florida condominiums, timeshares, and mobile homes. All right, Karen, start us off.
Okay, so after turnover has occurred, the division has jurisdiction to investigate complaints related only to procedural aspects and records relating to financial issues, including annual financial reporting.
Okay, that's good. So I'm just going to stop you there for a second. So I once filed a complaint, and they told me they had no jurisdiction over financial issues. So now you can make a complaint that your association is doing something incorrect with financial issues and financial reporting.
HOAs and condos?
This is for condos, remember.
But the hammocks.
This is the HOA had, the DBPR had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do. That was all police.
Okay.
That was all detectives.
Well, yeah, DBPR doesn't help the HOAs.
Correct. So, okay, so now they can investigate financial matters.
That seems like that should have been going on a long time ago. My God, help me. Assessments for common expenses, fines, and commingling of reserve and operating funds.
Okay, they used to tell you if you bring a complaint having to do with payments of money. We don't talk about payments of monies. So if you have a question about your budget, payment of monies, who's paying, who's not paying, sorry, we can't help you. Okay, so even that they threw you away for. Now they get to hear it.
And use of debit cards for unintended purposes.
Excuse me, my manager is using our debit card for blackjack at the
Hard Rock.
At the Hard Rock. Can you do something about this? I'm sorry, we don't have jurisdiction. It's crazy, right?
Yes.
You would think you'd go to the DBPR and that's something they would jump on in a second.
Right.
Nope, they'd throw you away.
Right.
Okay?
That's a true story, right?
Yeah, that is a true story. That actually happened. Correct. Exactly. All right, let's keep going. New things that they can investigate. The annual operating budget and the allocation of reserve funds. Financial records. Okay, let's stop the allocation of reserve funds. You tell the DBPR, hey, my condo just used reserve funds for something that they shouldn't have used reserve funds for. They can investigate that now. Financial records and any other record necessary to determine the revenues and expenses of the association. Check ledgers, checks. A lot of power.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and elections including election and voting requirements, recall of board members, electronic voting, which is really interesting, elections that occur during an emergency, and financial issues, and just elections in general.
So isn't that great? I mean, think of...
I can't believe this weren't already covered by the DBPR.
Listen, you have no idea. Yeah, everybody got the letter back that said, sorry, we don't have jurisdiction. Okay? Now, basically everything.
It was like the Wild West.
Yes, correct. And this is what, you know the frustration that people were having? It was driving people nuts. I know I'm talking to that camera.
Yeah.
And I know there's so many people that are sitting at home
yes.
saying, yeah, right on, Eric, absolutely, right on, Karen.
How quickly does the DBPR get on top of this stuff?
They will. You know what? I'm gonna stick up for them for one thing.
Okay, good.
What do you want from them if by statute their hands were tied?
Right.
What do you want? You know, there's by statute, their hands were tied.
Right.
Guys, now you got a budget that's basically doubled from my understanding. You got power to investigate all these things. Go at it. Show everybody that you're there for them. I think it's pretty important to do. The procedural aspects of meetings, including unit owner meetings, quorums, voting requirements, proxies, Board of Administrations, budget meetings. You go and complain to the DBPR. There wasn't a quorum at at the meeting. There wasn't a quorum of the directors. Yet the board did this. There wasn't a quorum of unit owners at the meeting. Yet they amended the declaration, whatever it may be. They're going to be able to investigate all these things. This stuff happens every single day. So,
yeah.
Really good things.
Also, the disclosure of conflicts of interest.
Yep.
The removal of a board director. Actually, but the board can do that themselves.
The board can't remove a director. The board can remove an officer.
Yes. Excuse me. Or officer. And any written inquiries by unit owners to the association.
Yeah, unit owners have the right under the statute to send a unit owner inquiry to the association.
Okay.
Question. And the law says they have to answer within 30 days. They can get 60 days if they ask their attorney to answer the question. If that's not responded, their penalty is that if this issue goes to court and they win, they don't get fees. But now, in addition to that, DBPR can investigate. Why aren't you answering the unit owners, right?
I love it.
So there's pretty much power to investigate almost anything now. I think members of a condo, you should pretty much be happy about that. And let's hope none of you get letters any longer about the DBPR not having jurisdiction. If you do, I want to see the damn letter. Okay, I really do, if you get one of those going forward. But here's what may be an even more important change to the law, and I really think this is a biggie. The division shall refer to local law enforcement authorities any person whom the division believes has engaged in fraud, theft, embezzlement, or other criminal activity, or when the division has cause to believe that fraud, theft, embezzlement, and other criminal activity has occurred.
Okay.
Think about that one. You know how many times complaints of a criminal nature were brought to the DBPR? Sorry, we don't have jurisdiction. I mean, the frustration that unit owners have suffered, you know.
I mean, you as a unit owner can go ahead and send this to the DBPR. Just don't post that your directors are thieves.
Yeah, don't say it exactly. Don't accuse anybody in a meeting. You're a thief. Don't post
criminal.
it. Yeah, unless that person is, you know, arrested, convicted.
There you go.
Do what the hell you want. You know?
So now, the DBPR must refer lots of cases to law enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay, where they believe financial wrongdoing has occurred, but you do think it's going to result in the prosecution of more cases, or because the police are kind of like?
I actually think it will.
Really?
This is different. A lot of people walk into police stations and say, my board is stealing, and the cops must look at them and say, yeah, we got a crazy person. They're not going to take it seriously. You know, okay, yeah, it's a civil matter, right?
Right.
People hear it's a civil matter when they walk into a police
larceny.
station. Yeah, and they turn it away. But the cops will turn it away unless it's served up to them on a civil matter.
Well, with the teeth of the DBPR now,
exactly,
that's going to give them some...
If it comes from the government, a government agency, saying, you know, they would call, for instance, the Dade State Attorney's Office or the Broward State Attorney's Office. They'll put together a package and send it over there.
Instead of a little person coming in.
Instead of a little person walking in, right. So if it's coming from the DBPR who did an investigation and say, yeah, we believe fraud and theft happened here, yeah, I think they're going to investigate it. And I do think there's going to be more arrests. And time will tell. We'll see what happens.